Hey, cats and kittens. What's up? Big Ed. So, my buddy Chris Jakes, I think that's how you say his last name. He's a brilliant musician, programmer. He's the foremost expert on the Empress Zoya. The little Zoya, nobody programs better for that than Chris. He's got his own channel. I strongly recommend you check it out. It's Jacques, like if it was Jacques. Chris asked me to do a little quick rundown on this little beauty because, ooh, look at all that glare. Because I just got it. I bought one. I got one of the first ones off the line. And so I was really interested. I bought an RC20, which was the last model they had, but I had a lot of issues with it. I mean, it was cool, don't get me wrong, but one of my main issues is that the reverb absolutely sounded like ass on it. I mean, I don't know why they have it, because I've played the original Space Echo, and while the reverb is unique, let's say that, on the original Space Echo, it had a sound, and it was kind of cool in its own right, but it sounded much better than the reverb that was in the RC20, so that was a big bugaboo for me. One of the things I liked about the RC20 was the switches, because for the twist and other. But I also thought that the tape sound, while it's clean on the original Space Echo, the tape Space Echo, it was way too digitally pristine for me on the RC20. I did love that you could get the preamp, adjust it tactily on the face of the unit. And I almost bought another one. I was in the process of looking at ones and going, oh yeah, maybe I was wrong about the original. We all do that. And I was looking at getting another one when I heard about this. And I was like, you know what? I can wait, because prices had super inflated as well. I can't remember what I bought my last RC20 for, but it wasn't 240 bucks used, I can tell you that, right? Right, so that seemed insane. I was like, not gonna do that. So as soon as I heard about this, I said, I can wait. And it wasn't that long a wait. I mean, from the time I heard about it, it was maybe a month I had to wait for this. Now, there's some really cool things. There's 4 presets plus manual mode over here, up on top. 4 presets plus manual mode. And that's really cool, but you can do up to like 127 presets in MIDI. Haven't gotten there yet because the MIDI is, here, let me disconnect. Let me move this. So if you can see, the MIDI is the mini jack MIDI. Yeah, I'm not messing with that yet. That ain't Big Ed. I mean, I've done it, but I'm just not there yet on this unit. So 4 presets is cool. One of the biggest pluses for me is, so you've got the saturation knob here on the front, which sounds really, really good. I mean, really good. But you can also set the original tape Space Echo tape preamp saturation internally in a secondary function. The way the secondary functions work is you have to read the manual, and I actually did miss this feature. I was like, wait a minute, I heard you could have the Space Echo preamp on all the time, like even the last RC20 pedal preamp. Because that's separate from this saturation. I was like, where's that? And I actually missed it the first time. And you hit a secondary function, you button whether it's memory or tape. In fact, let's find out. So yeah, I thought I remembered this correctly. So what you do is you press and hold the tap switch and then turn on the power. Then you release the tap switch, you turn this knob, the selector knob for the modes, right? You turn that knob to 9, to mode 9, and then you go to manual and you click, this is for the preamp to be on all the time, you press manual 1. Not manual, you want memory 1. Manual is no preamp, right? Okay, so again, you press the tap, press and hold the tap switch. You turn the power on. Then you go to mode selector 9, and then you press memory, not manual, but memory 1, and then you press the tap switch again to exit the settings. That's how you get the preamp sound on all the time. But then the saturation knob works separately, right? It works independently, I should say. So that is super duper duper cool, and it did sound different from, I was messing with the saturation and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. But then when I figured out, because I had missed it again the first time, I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. Okay, one other feature I really, really like is the new versus aged tape. That's here, the new versus aged tape. Now you'll see I have it on aged, right? Now, the new tape sound is way, way better on this RE-202 than it was on the RE-20. I think I said RC-20 before, but it's the RE-20, its predecessor. So you get to choose between new or aged tape. Now, there might be certain circumstances where you want a cleaner, more pristine sound. Again, it's not as pristine as the RE-20, but there are cases you may want that. There are cases you may want that and you want to dirty it up a little bit by having the preamp on all the time and messing with the saturation knob. Personally, I found that I preferred having the aged tape on all the time. That's just where my sensibilities lie. But I could hear certain situations where I may want the cleaner tape, and I'm sure that will happen, especially since I have the preamp on all the time and I can mess with the saturation. The wow and flutter is separate. It's great. The wow and flutter is way better than the RE-20. You have your repeat rate, your bass, treble, reverb. Oh, here's the other best thing about this. There's a lot of subtle secondary function things that are really cool. One of them is, remember I bitched about the reverb? Okay, there's a few reverbs in this. So there's the original spring, there's plate, there's room, there's hall, crazy, and an ambient reverb. The ambient reverb is kind of just, don't think of it as some like really super YouTube famous ambient guy's reverb. It's not. It's just kind of light and airy and open. It's kind of like more of an extended room ambience without being boxy like a room, if that's the best way I can describe it. It's the one I chose because it's not interfering or it's adding to other reverbs I'm already using. I usually use, like you know me, I've said this before, to me, to get the reverb sound I want, I'm using 2 to 3 other reverbs. Right now I'm using 2, so I wanted something that didn't get in the way. So I chose the ambience. It's ambience, not ambient. And that's what it gives. It gives an ambience to the sound. I really dig that. There's more heads. For twist, you hold the tap knob. For warp, which kinda, sort of is like a frozen feedback thing, you use the on-off switch. So you hold the on-off switch for warp, you press and hold the tap switch for twist. And that's cool. The memory section works great. Click, 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 boom. Reverb, you hold on the memory button to engage or disengage the reverb. Like say you didn't have reverb on already, you can use that to add reverb or to take away the reverb on your sound momentarily. That's not something I'm going to use. It's either on or off, but it's nice to have that option. And one more thing I want to mention before the review becomes too long and laborious for all of us is the expression. So the way, this is my only bug with this new one. I guess there's no way around it. It's okay, it's cool. But the expression assignments are not global. You heard that correctly. The expression assignments are not global. Why aren't they global? God only knows, but it's insane. Fortunately, there's only 4 presets and manual, and yes, you have to assign the expression assignments to manual as well. Again, they're not global, which means you have to go through each preset one at a time. Now, okay, it didn't take me that long because I have 4 presets and manual, so there's 5, right? But I had to go through each one of those 5 settings and twist the knobs. Now, what you do is, this is good to know because I don't know if people are putting all this information up there, doing all these demos, but there's some key things we need to know. So the way that you do the expression assignments is you make your selection, whether it's manual 1, 2, 3, 4. You press and hold input once you're on the setting you want. You turn the knobs, you plug, well, first of all, you plug in your expression pedal, duh, but expression pedal's in, your heel down, right? You press and hold input. You make the knobs changes that you want for heel down. You press and hold input again. You move it to toe down, change the knobs how you want toe down to be, and then press and hold input again for a couple seconds, and boom. And that's how you set the expression pedal, control, settings, assignments for each preset. So yes, you have to do it for each preset individually. I know it sounds insane, but that's my only bug with the whole thing. Now, speaking of bugs, I want to report, I did report yesterday one very small bug. I spent a few hours with it yesterday, a few hours with it the day before, because it came in on Friday, so I spent all weekend with it, messed around with it quite a bit. Very, very, very happy. This is an enthusiastic thumbs up. But here's one bug I discovered, and I reported it to Boss Roland yesterday, that when it appears, when you use the expression pedal, when you go back to heel down, the echo volume, your output volume mix, however you want to refer to it, goes down. Now, if you switch presets or do it manually, it goes back up. But I tested it on every preset, and it did behave that way. So every preset, when I used the expression pedal, the echo volume went down, and it didn't go back up unless I did it manually or switched presets. So that seems to be a bug which I have reported, but otherwise this is an enthusiastic, wholehearted thumbs up. I never bonded with the RE-20 like I have bonded with this, and I'm pretty excited. I think you're gonna like it. Yeah, it's a little more expensive. I wish it was cheaper, but there's a lot in here. And there's a USB input for updating it. So that's why you report bugs, because they can update it, and hopefully they will update the software when more people report more bugs. So do I like it? Yes, I love it. But it's got to fit your budget. I try not to tell anybody what to buy based on what I get, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion about this, that I think it's worth the money, totally worth the money. Do I think it's much better than the RE-20? Woo, way better than the RE-20 and way better than buying an old tape machine. And they really did put a lot into it. There's a ton in here. You got to dig into the manual, and you won't be lost even if you're not highly technical, but they did their job. This is really good, and I think if you're really into tape delays and having different features and presets and everything, you're going to really, really dig it. It's just a matter of whether it suits your style, and I would listen to some demos, listen to the clean versus aged, and check out some of the other features. See you next time.